Change. Can we achieve desired environmental change incrementally, or is more radical change needed? Anyone wanting to make a difference must decide how best to achieve change. The Ecotypes change axis compares the incremental, step-by-step change against the belief that only radical change will successfully address environmental issues. This relates to the Ecotypes theme of small versus big action. There's a spectrum of thought on the change axis. To the left is the incremental pole, and to the right is the radical pole. Let's look at either end of the spectrum. I believe that small changes towards environmental problems will get more done than attempting radical changes. Personally, I don't think that there's a way for us to solve major environmental problems via incremental change. Instead, we need radical change. Now, let's listen to some student anecdotes relating to the change axis.
Well, I think that incremental change definitely has its place, maybe in certain areas that either have small problems or that are very kind of divided communities. But I think that if there are homogenous or like politically homogenous communities that like agree on what to do, I don't think that there's much reason for radical change not to take place. Maybe if we were 3 decades ago, I might be more incremental, but I feel like nowadays bigger change needs to be taken in order to make a impact in the time that's necessary.
I initially was on leaning incremental to the incremental pole, and now I am on the more radical side of things because I think it's a combination of both that's needed. I think the incremental is the way to start. And before taking environmental studies at Lewis and Clark, I was like, yeah, like it starts at the community level to get people involved and for them to understand and become more educated on the topics. And then the community can like then spread that. And then with other communities, and I was like, in my mind, it was kind of like a step-by-step incremental process. But after a lot of the literature we read, it kind of became clear to me that like we do need governmental structural change in order to force the incremental to even have enough push, like have enough say.
Little change can distract us from maybe what's necessary. Um, I feel like I'm a broken record, but I think about like straws that were such like a hot button sort of issue of like, let's all transition to non-plastic straws and we're gonna like save the seas. And yet I think, and I don't know for sure, but my understanding is that was tied to sort of a way to distract people from maybe what was actually causing plastic pollution in the oceans. I do think as much as like policy change and similar things are sort of, that is what represents like radical change. I think change also happens at all scales because I also believe in like everyday picking up trash. Like I pick up trash all the time. My pocket is full of trash every day. So it's interesting to me that I score so high on that, even though I also think the little things are important. I just don't think they're going to get the job done, I guess.
Yeah, this is a very challenging question within the environment to think about because I do believe that radical change is necessary to help protect our Earth, but sometimes that's next to impossible just with some of the current systems that we're facing. And so I think if we want to make any changes, sometimes we have to focus on those incremental changes that are at least viable, even if not perfect. Also, I think that incremental changes are a way to hold people and organizations accountable for the changes that they want to make. Because if you just say, oh, we're going to be carbon free by 2050, but we're not going to make any changes in between, then how are you really reaching that goal? So I think for those reasons, incremental steps are important, but I still think that more radical change is necessary with that. Yeah, I think with climate change and in general trying to reduce carbon emissions, I think it would be most impactful to have national policies that are there are different ways to go about it, but to be able to reduce carbon emissions. But in turn, because those policies aren't happening as we speak, and so it's still important for individuals or individual businesses to make changes themselves. So you have to find that balance of still wanting to have some of those large scale changes, but also saying, well, we can't wait around. We have to at least do something where it's feasible.
So tell me, where do your opinions lie on the change axis? Do you think you lean more towards incremental change or radical change? And how might this impact the way that you approach environmental issues? You can find out which way you lean by taking the Ecotypes survey at ecotypes.us. It only takes a few minutes and it will immediately give you comprehensive results about you. If you want to dive even deeper into Ecotypes, the website has more information and there's even a book coming soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you gained something valuable from it. This Ecotypes video series is all unfunded work, so if you would like to support us and know of any further opportunities, please get in touch and engage with this video by liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really helps us out. So thank you so much and stay curious.